Ghana versus Tanzania. Ghana, once an African success story built on gold, oil, and cocoa, used its natural resources to drive strong economic growth in the early years of the 21st century. It achieved the Millennium Development Goal of halving poverty rates by 2015, and it was held as a model of political stability following peaceful elections. Moving from Ghana all the way to the east side of the African map lies Tanzania, an African nation known for its famous national parks and natural attractions. Tanzania has had over 20 years of consistent economic growth, eventually resulting in the country's transition from low-income to lower middle-income status. Ghana is a fast-developing country for sure, and in this video, it shall be going up against Tanzania in various comparison points starting with their economy. Ghana's economic growth has been slowing over the last 5 years, but it was expected to pick up in 2021. Over the same 5 years, the expansion of economic freedom has resumed its upward trend. Ghana was dubbed the world's fastest growing economy in 2019, with terms like skyrocketing used to describe its expansion. Ghana experienced a complete transformation in 3 decades. According to the World Bank, the country had also consistently ranked in the top 3 African countries for freedom of expression and press freedom. All of these achievements are the result of good governance and a shift towards sustainable development. On the other hand, Tanzania's economy had gradually recovered in the third quarter of 2021, with hospitality, mining, and electricity sectors leading the way. Leading indicators such as cement production, electricity generation, private sector credit, goods and services export, non-fuel good imports, telecommunications, mobility, and tourist arrivals all improved in 2021, despite the fact that activities in most sectors remain below pre-pandemic levels. Taking another look at Ghana's economy, Ghana has been long known as one of the world's largest cocoa producers, but Ghana's growth is now being fueled by a different commodity, which is oil. Ghana's economy has risen to the top of the GDP growth tables as a result of increased crude production and rising prices. According to the IMF, GDP will rise from 8.8% this year, more than double the rate of emerging economies as a whole, and well ahead of global growth. While Ghana's prosperity is closely linked to the oil market, it remains one of the world's largest exporters of gold and cocoa, which is still a significant export product. In the case of Tanzania, Tanzania's main exports include gold, coffee, cashew nuts, and cotton. Gold is by far the most profitable of these, accounting for more than 2/3 of the country's export earnings in the early 2000s. The government sees agriculture as critical to achieving its socio-economic development goals, which are well articulated in the Second Agriculture Sector Development Program. Agriculture and related value chains account for 2/3 of all jobs, 3/4 of which are for the poor, so the sector is critical to creating more and better jobs at scale and significantly reducing poverty. Looking at the economic evaluation of both countries, Ghana has a larger and more stable economy, but that of Tanzania is on a rapid rise than that of Ghana, giving Tanzania 1 point in order of economic growth. Now let's take a look at their infrastructure. Infrastructure contributed slightly more than 1 percentage point to Ghana's annual per capita GDP growth. When compared to other African low-income countries, Ghana has a more advanced infrastructure platform. The country's rural water, electricity, and GSM signal coverage levels are impressive. The majority of the road network is in good or fair condition. Institutional reforms have been implemented in the sectors of ICT, ports, roads, and water supply. Ghana's most pressing problems are in the power sector, where outdated transmission and distribution assets, rapid demand growth, and periodic hydrological shocks have left the country reliant on high-cost oil-based generation. As for Tanzania, infrastructure contributed 1.3 percentage points to Tanzania's annual per capita GDP growth. Tanzania has made significant progress in reforming its roads and improving the road network's quality. The country has also made significant progress in ICT networks and has one of Africa's most competitive domestic air transport sectors. Tanzania's most serious infrastructure challenge is in the power sector. Despite recent significant improvement in pricing and operational performance, inefficiency continues to consume approximately 1.4% of GDP. Furthermore, because of its reliance on hydropower, the sector is vulnerable to climate change. In terms of infrastructure, Tanzania has an annual funding gap of $0.7 billion per year, while Ghana's annual infrastructure funding gap is about $0.4 billion per year, making Ghana the leader when it comes to infrastructure. In conclusion, Tanzania has a lot of catching up to do in order to meet up with Ghana's present infrastructure level. Moving on to the next, let's take a look at the geography. Ghana's topography consists mainly of low plains, but its south-central area does have a small plateau. Ghana is also home to Lake Volta, the world's largest artificial lake. Because Ghana is only a few degrees north of the equator, its climate is considered tropical. It has a wet and dry season, but is mainly warm and dry in the southeast, hot and humid in the southwest, and hot and dry in the north. Tanzania is almost 3 times the size of Ghana, and it is made up of the mainland as well as the major islands of Zanzibar, Poem, and Mafia. The coast is protected by a coral reef, and there is a large central plateau with grasslands and mountain ranges, including Mount Kilimanjaro in the north. Africa's highest peak at 5,895 meters. The Great Rift Valley, which runs through the country's center, is home to numerous lakes. The country borders Lake Victoria in the north and Lake Tanganyika in the west. Tanzania's climate varies from tropical to subtropical, with high temperatures and humidity along the coast and on the islands. From June to September, average daytime temperatures are 23 degrees Celsius, and from December to March, they are 27 degrees Celsius. Our next point would be demographics. Ghana's demography describes the state and distribution of the country's population. Ghana had a population of over 31 million people in 2020, with approximately 15 million females and 16 million males. This represented a 2.13% increase over 2019. Furthermore, the country's urban areas are more densely populated than rural ones. On the other hand, Tanzania is growing at a rapid pace. The country's population was estimated to be at 59.73 million at the end of 2021 and is expected to reach 282.67 million by the end of the century. Tanzania's population is currently growing at a 2.98% annual rate. Tanzania has a high fertility rate of 4.8 births per woman and a high birth rate of 36.2 children per thousand people. Unfortunately, Tanzania's rapidly growing population means high levels of poverty and also income inequality. In Ghana, the majority of households have at least one child under the age of 18, followed by those with at least one female, between the ages of 15 and 49. Children under the age of 18 are most often raised by both parents. More than 60% of rural households in Ghana own agricultural land, indicating that agriculture plays an important role in ensuring food security for families. In terms of communication, radio and television are 2 of the most popular ways for most households to stay informed. The international poverty rate in Ghana is expected to reach 11.3% in 2022, while the lower middle income poverty rate is estimated to be 26.7%. On the other side, Tanzania had a low median age of 18 years in 2020, in addition to a growing population, and over 60% of Tanzanians are under the age of 25. As a matter of fact, Tanzania, like most African countries, had a high child dependency ratio. Furthermore, according to National Poverty Line, 1 in every 4 Tanzanians will be poor in 2022. From 35.7% in 2000, the poverty headcount ratio has gradually decreased. Despite Tanzania having one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, progress is still subject to economic shocks. As a result, with the poverty line set at $1.90 per day, over 29 million Tanzanians, or roughly half of the population, are extremely poor. Quality of life. Living in Ghana is a one-of-a-kind experience, and despite the lack of local state-run public transportation and other modern Western conveniences, the country more than compensates with charm, friendliness, and originality. It is the ideal place for those looking for unique experiences and a new perspective on the world. It is extremely laid-back and welcoming. Saturday night is a quiet night in Accra, Ghana's capital, possibly because many people leave the city on the weekends. More intriguingly, the weekend in Ghana appears to begin on Wednesday night, with beach parties, club nights, live music evenings, and art openings all taking place during the week, ensuring that there's always something to check out. Moving on to Tanzania, despite its wealth of natural resources, Tanzania has faced a number of severe social issues, including poverty and inequality. For foreigners arriving from wealthy nations, the extreme poverty in which many Tanzanians live is frequently the most significant source of culture shock. Tanzania's standard of living is extremely low when compared to Western countries, and even more developed African countries, such as South Africa, are extremely expensive in comparison. The nation's healthcare facilities are severely understaffed and under-equipped, and the local education system is unlikely to meet the standards that many experts are accustomed to. In conclusion, Ghana offers a better and safer cost of living, as it turns out to be developed than Tanzania. So, what are your thoughts on both countries? Is Tanzania capable of outperforming Ghana? Please let us know in the comment section below. Also, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Thanks for watching.